The price of Disney Lorcana has gone up, down, and all around at this point, and the new trading card game is looking to navigate murky waters as the price continues to plummet. But with the second release, the second set, doing extremely well, and even the first chapter still reaching more and more new fans, Disney Lorcana is doing something on the secondary market that I have never seen from a TCG before. We're going to check that out today. I'm not sure if a game had more controversy upon its release than Disney Lorcana. The box was not taped shut, it was easy to get your hand in, slip packs out, the packs were weighable, and Ravensburger clearly did not understand how many boxes they actually needed to satisfy this massive community. But all of that being said, the game just continued. It continued to do well. People continued to want to get their hands on their favorite characters in cardboard form, and the number of players just continued to skyrocket. And with all that said, we are well into the Disney Lorcana journey, but we've reached an interesting point of that journey. And what we do here is we track every single sold listing of sealed product on TCG Player and the market data from Disney Lorcana after the most recent reprinting, where game stores seem to have plenty of the product in their hand, is showing something that I have never seen before. So we are going to go over that today, and I'm going to give you my opinion on why I think all of the crashing prices and everything going on in the Lorcana secondary market is actually really good for Disney Lorcana. But without further ado, it's time to talk about that secondary market. And you know, when we want to talk about that secondary market, we have to pull up some information. What we have here is the visual representation of all the sales data that I collect. I make sure to capture TCG Player sales data and hold on to it. And the reason I do this is because TCG Player loses that data over time. After 90 days, they stop showing you that information publicly. So it's wonderful for us to have a snapshot, a history of all these trading card games in every set and how it goes. And what we have here is the visual representation of the first chapter. And I'm going to blow this up a little bit because some of these numbers are astounding. And most of this we've seen before. Over $2 million total spent on the platform on the first chapter products, not including starter decks, actually. But the last number in December is the most fascinating. And this is where I want to start our Disney Lorcana discussion today. When we take a look at the Lorcana products that have been sold since the game's release, we see obviously the same trend we see with most TCGs, where the release month is massive. The hype is all out. People love the product and want to get their hands on it, and that continues, so the pre-release month and into the release month, because this one was a September 1st release, so it's kind of like your pre-release week, which is a really big time, and then your week of release, which is also a big time. But then we see a trend that most trading card games follow, and that is once the product has been released, we see the next month people are generally onto the new thing, or they're busy just kind of playing with the stuff they already have. They spent their money on the hype of release and they're ready to move on. But Disney Lorcana looks to break the mold, and in November of 2023, we saw the first restock. And this is, if you remember, where prices came down from that $380, $400 price point to around the $250s, $270s, even upwards of $280. And because of that price movement, you would think that most people would be scared off. Well, no. We saw similar numbers to all of September in November, and this is an unheard of trend. Seeing comparable numbers post-release on a month that nothing really happened except the product just got reprinted and came out is something we are not familiar with. That shows an excessive amount of demand. But most importantly, in December, and at the time of the recording of this video, it's only December 13th, we are about to eclipse all of November sales on TCG Player as far as number of products sold, as the price just crashes down towards MSRP. And that's where things get fascinating. When we look at the first chapter and we look at specifically the draft booster box, kind of the driving factor, something we look at with all trading card games to determine the health of a game, determine how many people are going out of their way to spend their hard-earned money on the product, we see in December, we are chasing the number of draft booster box sales that we had in all of November. Through all of November, I think it's safe to say we will surpass that number. If we don't, make sure you come back to this video and you yell at me. But we are doing that while the price continues to dwindle. And those who have been around kind of the newer TCG space in the past know that if a game is full of flippers, speculators, people who are just interested in the value of the cards in the box, as this price, you see the average price of the box on TCG Player per month, as this price starts to go down, you see less and less people willing to buy the product because it is no longer viewed as a great asset. Well, here, and I just want to expand on that for a second, most people don't have the confidence of like, oh, it's going down, it's definitely going to go back up in the future, buy low, buy while it's going down. No, most people while it's going down are like, oh my gosh, the prices are tanking, get me out. But to see, as that price goes down, the corresponding months have increased and booming sales is a sign to me that Disney Lorcana is not only a healthy trading card game existing in a healthy space, but I believe the demand for this product, for this little box right here, to be at MSRP and be on the shelf, mind you, a box that at this point is 3 to 4 months old, is massive. And that's something we don't see in trading card games very often. I want to touch on this just really quick. More often than not, when it comes to how we enjoy trading card games, like we said, we buy on the release and then we kind of put them to the side. And mostly because of the monster created by Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering, my favorite trading card game, it is this feeling that we're always on to the next thing. So for us to go back and spend our hard-earned money on something that was already released, even on a reprinting of a limited product, is something we do not often see. So this is a wild indicator that the Disney Lorcana demand is not only real, but something we are going to need to follow in the future. Make sure you are subscribed as we race to 7,250 subs, and we're going to continue to follow the journey of Disney Lorcana. But the journey of Disney Lorcana does not end with just the first chapter. Rise of the Floodborne has come out, and we have seen a much healthier release cycle for Disney's second product. Now, all in all, yes, we have seen booster boxes be extremely expensive, and we see the draft booster box is the leading product as far as what has sold the most on TCG Player and what most people are getting involved in, but it taps into, Rise of the Floodborne being that, it taps into something that we haven't yet seen from Disney Lorcana, and I expect them to do more of in the future. And that's the idea of Disney collectibility. The Disney collectibility in this D100 collector edition. And again, I know I'm going to look you fully in the eye. As soon as you say something is collectible, it is clearly not collectible. I understand. I know all of the stories of my Magic the Gathering collector boxes. I get it. Just hear me out. The Disney Lorcana Collector Edition is something that, while it continues to trend down in price, again, continues to increase in sales. And with this being the case, I would be interested to see if Disney Lorcana doesn't continue to follow a model like this and give something that they deem as like, hey, you love Disney, you love characters, you love displaying your Disney stuff, this is the product for you. You love playing TCGs and, you know, just slamming the cardboard down on the table, this is the product for you. I would not be surprised to continue seeing this, and I do think this is one of those rare instances where like a segregation of product is not only appropriate, but probably healthy for Disney Lorcana as a whole. And interestingly enough, before we stop talking about Rise of the Floodborne, it's worth noting that Rise of the Floodborne experienced similar kind of hype release cycles and everyone going crazy for the booster box on its release, and has started to come back down to earth. And while we haven't seen a major massive restock like we have for the first chapter, I would not be surprised, as Ravensburger has stated through and through, that they want this product to be wildly accessible. I would not be surprised to continue to see this number come down and these sales continue to trend in an upward direction. Now, we have the holiday season coming around. I am really excited to see what this means for Disney Lorcana, but it's safe to say, in my opinion, this means Disney Lorcana is a legitimate TCG. It's a legitimate card game with a legitimate community, and whether you like it or not, there are tournaments with hundreds of people being held, both digitally and in paper. There are millions of dollars in sales to reflect the interest in this product, and almost everybody who comes at me about Disney Lorcana has always got something to say about the One Piece trading card game, and, you know, just to be fair, the One Piece trading card game, also wildly successful, not quite where Disney Lorcana is, and that's not a bad thing. This is going to be more of the TCG players TCG, and it is a wildly successful release, and I 100% believe that One Piece truly has something going. But just to put it in perspective, Disney Lorcana is doing something amazing, and I think we're going to do something amazing here too, as we finally have, for the first time, Disney Lorcana boxes to be open. If you're a channel member, shout out, 2 people have taken slots. We have 2 more slots available for Disney Lorcana box openings. You can email me at hometowntcg@gmail.com. If you're a channel member, you get a discount. If you're not a channel member and still want to open a box, you'll just pay TCG Player Low plus shipping. So whatever the cheapest box on TCG Player at the time that you message me is, plus shipping. But I am so excited. Make sure you reach out if you're interested in some of these box openings. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for hanging out again. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, do so now. And if you've never shared a Hometown TCG video, there's never been a better time than right now. Put this in a Disney Lorcana forum, Discord group, Facebook group, whatever it might be, because I love when our community grows and we get a varying bunch of ideas and flow into our comment section. So thank you so much for hanging out. Until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh, and we will see you around. All right, goodbye.